Hello and welcome to the third part of revision of work done in class 9. Now in the part 2 we did a few things. We did the operators, that is arithmetic, comparison, logical and assignment operators. We also did how to display something on the screen with using print or println, using buffered reader class and using scanner classes for taking input. In this session we will be doing a few things. I will see whether I can create everything into one session or I need to break it down into two, but let us see. So there are two things to be done, that is conditional constructs in Java, that is use of if else and switch case and stuff, and next is the use of iterative constructs, that is looping constructs, that is for while and do while. Now methods and functions are actually, they belong in class 10, so we will be doing that in quite detail in this session. Now conditional constructs in Java. Let us start off with what conditional constructs mean. The first conditional construct that we have is the if. Now if you want to perform a task only when a condition is true, then what do? So the how to write this statement is, this is how you write the statement. You write if, then you write the round parenthesis, opening and closing, and in between the parenthesis you will be writing the condition. Condition naturally is going to give us a Boolean result. Okay, so this means all the operators that we are using which give us Boolean as the result will be used here. That means the greater than, less than, equal to, and so on and so forth. And you will write the task that is to be performed within the braces over here. So that means you can see the opening and closing of the brace, and within the opening and closing braces you will write the statements which you want to perform if this condition is true. Now please remember, the statement to be executed is given here. The condition on which that statement depends on is given here. If is just a statement which is basically used to perform the task. Okay, now this task will be performed only when this condition is true. Okay, let us check it out with using a program. Let's say you have a variable called x which has a value of 10. Now you want to find out whether x is a big number or a small number, and a big number will be somewhere maybe above 50. Okay, so that means I want to display that x is a big number and the condition is x should be greater than 50. So what will we write? We will write if x is greater than 50, then within the braces what will you write? You will write system.out.println x plus is a big number. Okay, now see what happens. Now the value the variable x has a value of 10. Is this condition true? Is x greater than 50? No, the condition is false. Will it display it as a big number? It will not display. Now please remember, this is the statement to be displayed. Now who decides whether this statement will be executed or not? That is decided by this if. So if is basically controlling whether this statement will be executed or not. When we run this program, this program should not display anything at all. So let us see. So when I run this program and check the terminal window, you see that the terminal window is empty. Okay, let me make this as 100. Okay, so see what happens now. Let me run this program and let's see the terminal window. You will see that it displays that 100 is a big number. Okay, now what has happened now? Is this condition true now? Yes. x is now 100 and 100 is greater than 50, the condition is true, so it is going to allow this statement to be executed. Okay, please remember the critical words here is allow or disallow. So if statements allows or disallows the following statement to be executed or not. Now many of the times you need to perform a task if the condition is true, and you also need to perform the task if the condition is false. How do you do this? You use an else statement after the if. So this means now there are two tasks to be performed, task 1 and task 2. Now task 1 will be performed when the condition is true, and the task 2 will be performed when this condition is false. Okay, so let's see this program in working here. So we'll write else and system.out.println. Say now I want to display x plus is not a big number. Okay, so now both the statements will be executed. Either this one will be executed or this one will be executed. Okay, so there are chances that one of these will be executed, but how will it be executed? It again depends on the condition. Now if the condition says results in true, it will display the first one, otherwise it displays the second one. Now I'll make this 10 again, and what do you think it will display now? Is 10 greater than 50? No. So it automatically goes to the else side and display and runs the statement which is given in the else side. Okay, so let me compile this program and run this program, and let's see the result. It displays 10 is not a big number. Where has it actually displayed from? It has displayed it from the else side now. Okay, I hope this is very clear to you. You have already done these things, so I don't think you'll have any problem. Okay, the next is if ladder. If ladder is written like this. You will see that we have a condition, we have a number of conditions. We have condition 1, we have condition 2, we have condition 3. If condition 1 is true, task 1 is performed. Otherwise, if condition is 2 is true, then task 2 is performed. Otherwise, if condition is 3 is true, then task 3 is performed. Otherwise, task 4 is performed. Now let's see what happens now. If condition 1 is true, so what do you think will be executed? Task 1 will be executed, and it is not going to display anything, run anything from the else side onwards. If the first condition is false, naturally it will come to the else side, and it will now check whether condition is 2 is true. Suppose if 2 is true, then it will perform task 2 and it will not execute anything after else. Now if 1 and 2 both of them are false, it checks whether condition is 3 is true. If that is true, it will perform task 3 and not perform anything after else. Now suppose if condition 1 is false, 2 is also false, 3 is also false, it will perform task 4. Okay, I hope we are very clear about this. Now let's make up a situation where we need to work on a ladder. Okay, I have a situation where I have a variable called marks, MKS, and I want to display whether these marks come into the credit category, pass category or fail category. So, and I have also given the conditions over there. If it is greater, if the marks are greater than or equal to 875, it comes into credit category. If it is greater than or equal to 50, it comes into pass category, otherwise fail category. Okay, what do we do? First of all, we check if MKS is greater than or equal to 75. So if this condition is true, then we will display credit. Okay, let me copy this so that I don't have to type this again and again. We come into the else side. Now if I am on the else side, this means if the program reaches this part, this means marks are not greater than or equal to 75. So what do I need to do? I need to check whether marks is greater than or equal to 50. So if I check this, I'll just write pass here. That's it. And else, so that means now if I reach this part, where I've put the question marks, that means the condition greater than or equal to 75 is false because it had come to the else side. Because it is here on this else, that means this greater than or equal to 50 is also false. That means it is not greater than or equal to 75. It is not greater than or equal to 50. Naturally, it must come into the failed category. So what do? We just put the failed category here, and that's it. Okay, so this is our program. All right, so marks are 85, and they actually come in this category, so it will actually display credit and nothing else. Okay, so let's run this program and see how things work out. Let me run this, and let's see the terminal window, and the terminal window displays a credit. Let me change these marks and make them as 55 and run this program again and see what happens now. It displays pass. What has happened now? Marks are actually 55. Is this condition true? No. So it comes on to the else side and checks this condition. Is this condition true? Yes. So it displays pass on the screen. Let me make it as 25. Okay, so now what happens? Let's run this program and see the result. It displays failed. How has it displayed failed? Marks are 25. This condition is false, means marks are not actually greater than 75, greater than or equal to 75. They are not greater than or equal to 50. Naturally, it comes on to the last else side and displays failed. For failed, I don't need to check anything. Why? Because it doesn't come into any of those two conditions categories. The next way you can use if is using a nested if. Nested is a word which is used in programming where one construct is used in the same construct. So that means if I use an if within an if, and in the future a switch within a switch or a for within a for, we will call them as nested. So here condition 1 is true and condition 2 is true, they are nested. So condition 2 is true is nested within the first one. Okay, what do you think will happen? When do you think will task 1 be performed? It will be performed when condition 1 is true and condition 2 is also true. Are we clear? Okay. The last one, I have just changed this into the same nested if in such a way that there is one nested part and there is one non-nested part also. So you can see if condition 1 is true, this actually starts from here and ends here. Okay, so this means the whole if else is inside condition 1 is true. So suppose condition 1 is true, what will happen? It will come into this and check whether condition 2 is also true. If condition 2 is true, then task 1 will be performed, otherwise task 2 will be performed. Will it come to task 3 at all? No. Why? Because condition 1 was true. When will task 3 be performed? It will be performed only when condition 1 is false. Okay. Okay, I have a question for you. Take a number. When I say take a number, do not try to input the number. You just take int m is equal to 15 or something like that. Display the following. You need to display fizz if the number is divisible by 3, buzz if the number is divisible by 5, fizz buzz if the number is divisible by 3 and by 5 both. Otherwise, display the number. So the number will be displayed only when it is not divisible by 3 or 5 and so on. Suppose my number is 2. What is it going to display? It will display a 2. If my number is 3, it should display fizz. So it should not display 3, it should display fizz. Next, if I take a number as 4, it will display a 4 because 4 is not divisible by 3 or 5. 5 should display a buzz, 14 should display a 14, 15 should display a fizz buzz. I hope the question is clear to you. I would expect your answers in a private message on my WhatsApp number. Okay, let us take this ladder. This if ladder is basically using a variable called x, and if x is 1, it displays one, else if x is 2, it displays two, else it displays not 1 or 2. So that means if x is 1, it displays 1, if x is 2, it displays 2, if x is not 1 or 2, it displays not 1 or 2. Okay. By the way, what is it going to display now? It will display 1. And if I change this 1 to 2, it displays TWO. If I change this to 5, it displays not 1 or 2. Okay, fine. This program is okay. We have created a ladder like kind of a system. Now we can convert this if ladder, remember, into something called as a switch construct. Now the switch construct basically uses switch and case and default statements and break statements to perform the same task that if is performing. Why would I want to convert this if into a switch when this is working fine here? Okay, the first and foremost answer is that switch is much more readable than an if ladder. Okay, so let us convert this if into a switch. First of all, when can I convert? There are rules. You cannot convert any ladder into a switch. So the situation should be that there should be one variable being compared in all the if statements. So you can see that in these statements, x is being compared here, x is being compared here. Okay, so there are two if statements, in both of them x is being compared. The second, very important, is they are all compared for equality. So I'm not writing anywhere as greater than equal to or greater than or less than or anything. That means I'm not checking for inequality, I'm actually checking for equality. Third thing is that all of them have to be compared with constants, not variables. So I'm not writing x is equal to a or x is equal to b, I'm writing x is equal to 1 or x is equal to 2. So three things basically. Number one variable has to be used, not something x is equal to 1 and I'm writing here x if y is equal to 2. So no two variables, it should be one only. Second, checking for equality only, and third, checking comparing them with constants, and fourth, naturally it has to be in a ladder like kind of a structure. How do we do this now? How do we convert it into a switch? So let's see that now. I have if statement, if so and so. Now the variable which you are comparing to always has to come inside the switch. So I'm not writing x is equal to x is equal to x is equal to everywhere. I'm just writing switch x. So that means in this switch that starts from here and ends here, you will find that all the comparisons are happening with only a single variable. Okay. How do I check whether x is equal to 1? I write down case 1 and colon. Okay, case 1 and colon, and we write okay, 1 was fine here. Okay, case 2 and colon, then I'll write down 2 here. You see, did you notice the last else in the ladder? The last else corresponds to the default in switch. So I will display not 1 or 2. Okay, that's it. So this is my switch. Can you see that this switch statement appears to be much more readable than the if over there? Yes, it is to me. Okay, there are so many braces here. Okay, I don't have any braces here, so I don't need any braces. Even if I have multiple statements in it, I would not need any statements. So what happens now? X is 1 in the beginning, so if switch X, it basically checks with all the cases whether the condition is true. X, if is X equal to 1, yes, so it displays system.out.println 1. If X had been 2, it would have come to this condition and it would have displayed 2. If X had been something else, maybe 4, say, so it will go to default and displays not 1 or 2. Okay, so this is all about switch statement. There is one problem though, that all the case statements should end with a break statement. Otherwise what happens is, if case, suppose X had been 1, now case 1 is true. Now if case 1 is true, it displays 1, and after that it does not check the conditions anymore, so it will display 2 also and not 1 or 2 also. So that means if X is 1, it displays 1 and 2 and not 1 or 2. So that means it displays everything. So how do we not do it? We put a statement called break statement at the end of each case. Now this is going to work perfectly fine. So if X is 1, it displays system.out.println 1, and break makes it come out of the switch. Okay, I hope the switch is clear to you. We will be continuing with the iterative constructs in the next session now. This session has been long enough now. I will be giving some questions in PDF format sometime later. I would like you to complete all those and keep them with you. I hope you enjoyed this session. I also enjoyed. Thank you so much.